YouTube, is Brian Proctor back again with another video, and this one is the action pose position of the week number 17 or 18. I believe it'll be right here, and this one is the power up position. Usually if you have a strong superhero type character, a lot of times they have to power up, and this guy's powering up, tearing up some stuff. So I'll show you how to do that, and we'll talk a little bit about the head being tilted. So let's just get into the video. All right. And today we're going to do what I would call the power up pose. You've probably seen this in a lot of manga. Anybody that's doing a pose where they have to get that strength up. So let's do the power up pose, as I call it. Now the secret to this is uniformity. You have to do uniform. Now let me show you a quick of what it's going to kind of be like. So the power up pose is you have your body here and you have the arms going up like that, like he's powering up. But the thing is, for this to really work right, everything has to be balanced. The legs, you can't have one arm up and one arm down like that, because that's just not how it's going to be, how it should be, how it's going to work. How something, that's just not it. So yeah, it's got to be equal on the line, equal shares for everybody. Okay, so let's do this, and it's going to take some rulering, but first of all, let's do my straight line. Let's see where my figure's going to be and keep them in the paper. So from here to about here, this is the body length. You know, subject to change. So I want to put the ground right about here. The ground could move up because he is tall, depends on how big the oval is. That's where you start with the oval. The oval determines the rest of the body. So, and I'm going to make this guy kind of big too, kind of hulkish. So first thing I want to do is get my triangle. It's going to go off camera for a second, but I want to get a straight line. Let me get a straight line down. Okay, so let's work with that line for a second. So we have this, and then he's going to be tilted back, because when you're calling for power, this guy's straight up. So if I turn it to the side, his body's going to be leaning back like this, like that. And his arms are going to be down here like that. So it's going to be leaning back. And to lean back, if this was the front, this was your shoulders, when he leaned back, you won't see the shoulders anymore. So it would be rounded off like this. Let me get a brush. So yeah, leaning back, your shoulders are going to be, your chest is going to come up like that. And then you have some of your head here. You won't see your shoulders because your shoulders are pushed back. Trying to explain and draw at the same time like that. So let's get this, and that's the main point. As I say, your hands have to be lined up, everything has to be lined up, or it just won't work. So I'm going to do a rough real quick. This is going to be the top of his chest here. Okay, so well, let me just draw this first the way I would draw it, and then I'll make the changes. So you have your, and that's another thing, I stop talking when I draw. You have your torso, you have your stomach line, which is that upside down U, or you could do the V, and then that curved line like that. So it comes in, you're gonna have your love handles or your obliques coming down, and that goes right into the crotch. And I'm looking to see if it's gonna be a little long. So these come in at an angle to the crotch, and as you can see, my line is off because the point of the crotch should be right here. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to keep your character balanced. But I draw on a twisted angle like that, the same way I write. I cannot write straight up and down like this. I have to write like that. So it's just me. It's kind of weird. So from here, your legs are going to start up here off of your love handles or your obliques, because if you drew the what is that called, like the bathing suit thing, it's going to come like this, but you have your obliques or your sides and it comes down, and your legs are like this. It comes like that. Now that might be a little short, but I have a little bit of extra room to go. So you got to have your legs wide open, not too wide. You don't want to do a split. So now let's get the length of this first. Let's get the first one about the right length. Then I'll turn it to the side and use my ruler again. So that's going to have to be right there. My love handle is going to be right here. So my knee. And then the muscles of your leg, you have your knee, which is kind of almost like a diamond, shall we say, that comes, actually it comes into this part right here. And because that muscle goes up, it comes in, curves around, hits the bottom of that knee, and curves up, almost like a raindrop. And this other one is high up, like that. So it makes this V, and then it splits right here again. It's the same thing here. It comes up like that. This one is high up, splits, leaving a V right there at the leg. So with this, your leg, from here, this little circle, this comes around and down. This is going to be your shin bone, I believe. Then you have your calf. And this one comes around, this one comes out, so the knee is more shifted. It's not in the middle, it's more shifted over to the side. And you have your calf and your shin. Now I might have to step back and look at this one, because this one has to be on point, shall we say, to do this position. It's got to be, everything has to be lined up right. A couple of them I let get away, but just because it was a rough drawing, I didn't really try to make it perfect. But this one, I got to get back to the old school and do it right. So already the feet are going to come past this, but not too far, because I'm going to do a little bit of special effects on at the bottom of this thing. So let me bring his waist in a little bit more. He's going to be thick, but I don't want him like fat. Like thick, fat, thick. Let me bring this down a little bit more. Look at that. So just barely over this U or V, whichever one you chose to do. Your chest is going to be rounded off like that, and at these lines, it's going to come up like so, and then it's going to be rounded, yeah, rounded up here. This is part of your rib cage here, which comes down like this into that. And then from there, you have your lats. Now, that's the hard part, is the arms, getting that right. Let me just do cylinders for now. So you get this length of the cylinder that you need, this part of the arm that you need, and then you draw your circle here at the bottom of this, and then from that circle you do that cylinder that's coming up here, like so. Now, as I said, it's best to get one right, and then measure for your other one. Now that I have this, what is that? My phone. And your neck, from the point, you have that V. And what I'm going to do is I'm seeing that this is 2, and then your head. This is 2, what's the word I'm trying to say? It's too stiff. It's too stiff. When I draw, a lot of times, if I'm trying to make it perfect, it's too stiff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up. Once I get this to the point where you understand, what you probably do now, I'm going to kind of erase some of this and loosen up and make this a little less stiff. So you have your neck here. Remember, you have your shoulders going to be back. You might see a little bit of shoulder, might not. And then your head. You draw your head shape like this. And then your chin. So just want to do a U, upside down U for under here. So he's looking up. So if you did the eyes would be curved up here. The nose would be close to the eye because he's looking up. And then the mouth would be here. So if you did a face, you'd have like the open mouth. And the chin doesn't have to be that high. It can be lower. So the mouth could open up wider, but I'm not doing faces. I'm not doing faces right now, but since I've started. And the thing is, when you look up, your ears have to be down. Don't put your ears up here like they're supposed to be. Put them down almost on the chin. Chin, yeah, chin. This is the chin, on the cheeks. That way, that person, you have that person having that looking up position. But I'm going to erase this and make it less static. Yeah, because I draw fast, and if I draw fast, you won't keep up with what I'm saying, because it's hard for me to draw and speak at the same time. All right, so as I find my eraser, I'll do it more comic booky by curving a lot of lines. They say there's no straight lines in nature, so if you curve a person, give him that exaggeration, it's better, especially when you're doing comics. Now, let me pull him back a little bit more. Why did you erase it? I'm gonna go up a little bit. And the more you curve this chest, the more back the cat is going. The cat is going. I was saying that in my last video. The drawing is. So here, we cut this off at this angle here, and you throw your delts in there. So you cut it off like that, throw your delts in there. So chest comes up to your arms like that. And as I said, you want to keep them uniform. You don't want to have one arm down more and the other arm up. Big biceps, circle here, and curve that. Instead of straight like I had it before, you curve it around a little bit, and you have this muscle here. Circle, curve it, that fleshy part of the arm. And this one is out more. So let me bring it in to match it. Like so. So it's getting dark, and my neck is getting dark. So what? So I'm losing my light. That's what I was trying to go for. I'm losing my light. You have your chin, it comes down, but you bring it up at the same time. And that's always a really awkward angle to draw, and I still haven't really mastered that one yet. So you have your head. Let me use a pen, something not so thick. So you have your head, you have your neck. So you're going to look back. This is going to come up. You have that jawbone. It's going to come up like that. So it's going to have that curve, but you're still going to somewhat have that piece of I don't know what down here. I couldn't say what it is. It goes into your neck. Still going to have some bit of a curve. Let's just say if you have your chin, and I don't know why I'm doing a facial thing, because somebody needs it. And then you have your mouth, and everything's going to be curved. It's going to be that curved angle. Then you have your nose, which is the couple triangles here. You have the tip of your nose. If you want to draw the nostril part, you can. And the eye is going to be really close to that. It's not going to be way up here. It's going to be like really close. And then you have an up angle, and you have your, this comes in here, which is your, what it is, this on the side of your face is called temples, I believe. And it's going to curve out and out, curve out, and then into the cheekbone like this, like that, and then curve around. Your head is not going to be high up like it used to be, or like it is naturally when you're looking down. And then, as I say, your ears are going to be here, down on the cheeks, like that. And then you have your brow. However, let's say your cheekbones, and then come down like that. And that's, I'm on the head again. Some people have trouble drawing the faces. I've seen a lot of people not be able to draw the face up. And you just have to play around with that cheekbone here, but just know it does curve up like that. And then most times you'll have that shadow somewhere, and that's a good cover up too. When you do the shadow, it's a good cover up. So yeah, that's my little take on drawing the head looking up. And then the more extreme it is, and I'm on the heads again, the more extreme you look up, the higher your chin would be, the less everything else you'll see. The nose, the eye, you'll see less top of the head. Nose, the eye, and even less head. And your ear would be down a little bit more. That's the same thing if you're flying, if you're doing a guy with a flying position, it'd be like that to a degree. You would look up and then shadow this, just because. All right, let's get back to the real deal here. Give him a wider neck. And at this point, you would have to know that stuff has to be uniform. Give him deep lats. which I'll stop and look for the uniformity in a minute. Let's just do this now. Both arms are pretty good. They look like a good angle. Bicep, tricep, bicep round, tricep. This part of the arm and the fist. Bring the fist in, like so. Let me bring his waist in just a little bit more, just because I can. Like that. So, okay, leg. Is that leg too short or too long? Remember that knee comes up under here. So wherever this, you have this muscle and this muscle here. So that knee is going to tuck up under this muscle right here. Just draw that diamond shape. This comes out, remember I said, from the inside, and then it goes down to the shin. This comes down, and you won't see that because the knee is shifted out to the outside. And then you have your shin. Same thing on this side. Let me make sure I have my legs right. So yeah, here, inside is lower than the outside. Just think about a club or group. The inside people have more access than the outside people. So that's a good way to think about it. This knee is going to come in there, as I said, the diamond shape. It's going to come around and down into the shin, calf, and then you curve it like that. I'm going to give that one a little more curve too later. So, stepping back, fix that leg. And this, I don't know, I might want to play with that a little bit, because if you stick your chest out, this pelvis part is going to come up. Is that the pelvis? No, this is the pelvis. So let's see. Let's blew it right now for now. Chest. And one, I hope my camera's running, and two, I hope you can see it because it's a little dark. As I said, I'm losing the light. Where did I just draw a line? You just drew it right here. So the bicep, tricep, not tricep, the delts. The bicep is going to come here. Let's just make it round for now. It cuts across here, and your tricep comes down. So we cut across here. Tricep comes down. Draw that cylinder so you know where it stops and where the hand would be. Now let's look at the lats, because the lats are a little off. No, that's pretty good. We'll give him nice wide lats like that. So from there, let's do this. Curve that up here like that. So the stomach. How am I going to do the stomach? Let's just give him an extra set here. And then set here. Put a larger set right here. And is that kind of crookedish? And then the belly button is right there. So it's going to come around here, this and this, and then you have your those ribs. Let me see if you guys can still see this, if my camera's even running. A little small, but you can still see it. As I say, I'm losing light, so this video might continue tomorrow, but for you, you won't know. And as I say, there is no shoulders to be seen. Curve this up and around like that. Now let's see if give it a little more of this. And that definitely calf is definitely different from that calf. Let's find one that I like, and we'll mimic that one on the other side. So let's work with this one. So the bottom of my calf is here, the top of my calf is here, like that. So bottom is here, top is there, and that one's right. Put that knee over a little bit more, so the shin will come straight down here. And then foot. And again, we have to find out where the feet line up at. So, where's the top of my foot? Right there. And also the bottom. And looking, seeing what I have, I need to step back for a second and see if my proportions are equal. And then figure how I want to turn the hands. Maybe I want to make them a little thicker. I said I want them to be big. I want them to be powering up. Power up, you're going to get bigger. So make his waist a little bigger without making them fat. And then bring these out a little bit. Make his hips out a little thicker. And then I can even go thicker with the legs. Because as I say, this guy's powering up. So I'm going to curve the arm. Make that peak bicep here. And that's going to go up into under that arm, under that, in front of that lat. I'm looking at that. So this is going to come down, make it round. This bicep is going to come from under here. Tricep comes from under there as well. And then this comes here. And the elbow. So you have chest, which leads into your delts, which is going to be round. The peak of that bicep is going to come around. It's going to come out from under there. Your tricep is going to come out from under there too, with that line. And then this. Make his wrist a little thicker. course, the chest has to pop out. So you have the striations from the chest, and then the neck. And I'm losing light quickly, or my glasses are just that dirty. And then your muscle and this the love handle is a muscle as well. So from there, and then you have those when you're really built, those lines that come from in between these muscles here. Like there's two of them, but this is there. So yeah, do I want to keep that, or do I want to make it thinner? Let me step back for a minute. And I always say to step back from your drawings, walk away, and then come back later, and then you'll see if something is off or something's wrong. Like right away, I can see that this leg is bigger than that leg. Can be fixed. This is bigger than that. This is a little different, but other than that, it's looking a little good. I can just round this off, which is what it needs to be, like that. Like that, and then bring that down some, like that. That calf is definitely different from this one. Now, I'm not going to work until it's perfect, because I'm trying to keep my videos under 30 minutes, which are, it just doesn't happen. I don't know why. I don't see how people can do 30-minute videos. It just, I don't see it. But maybe I explain too much, or I do too much, but that's just me. I want people to learn. I don't want to put out a video and you go home and or you go home, you at the end of the video, you really ask yourself, what have I learned? So inside ankle is higher than the outside ankle. Remember, the inside, if you're in the gang, you're in the club, you're higher than everybody else. And this blue just wants to keep breaking on me. So with this, you bring it out and you kind of flatten it off, or a toe, or a square. If I did a square, it'd be like that. Bring it down, square, and then you back and just kind of up a little bit, and that will what's the word I'm looking for? That will suffice as the in your foot. I don't know what that word I'm looking for. And then just erase that square. But you should have this like it's just kind of like your little toe, especially if you're doing boots. That arch, thank you, the arch. Instead of going flat back, flat. You have your leg, this guy's leg here. You gotta do this, put that upside down U, and just basically kind of like a triangle. So you have your toes here. So that's going to bring this little lump like that, and then just up here halfway, and then raise your heel a little higher than that, and that will suffice as a foot. But just remember, if you draw if you draw a line down the center of your leg, it should come down to the center of your foot as well, and that helps establish how, if your foot is sitting right. So the knee, calf, and then, as I say, inside ankle, ankle, outside ankle, the back heel, this line here, down, and then curve up, a little, let's just call it a little bubble, and then your foot like that. And then remember, you straight down, that would be the very front of your foot, and it just helps with direction from doing your foot. So either, like I say, because my glasses are dirty, or because it is getting dark, I'm going to redo I'm going to stop and start this again in the morning when there's light, but for you, it'll be just a second. So I will be right back in the morning. And we are back on this bright, sunny morning where I have plenty of light. So let's get back into this thing now. One last check, because I looked at this thing several times and I saw a couple things that were not perfectly aligned, but at this point I don't want to sweat the small things because I want to get this up and done. So one of these arms, which one was it? It was this one. It was out more than the other. So since I had to lift this elbow up, I'll bring this arm out just a little bit. I was going to bring this one in, but I'll bring this one out. And the wrist is here. Elbow stops here. Wrist is here, and then your hands, which should also be uniform, will be about right here. Okay, so another thing, the chest, since he is leaning back, the chest should be up more as well, more rounded. That gives him that look of leaning back. I could have brought this up more. Let's see, just because, to open that up just a little more. Like that. Let's go with that. I think one of these pecs is higher than the other. As I say, I'll fix all that in the wash. So I'm kind of liking that. Let's go with that for now. And let's see if I can work on these hands. Now, hands are not an easy thing to do to start out with. But if you are trying to draw both hands exactly the same position, that makes it even harder. Let's go for pencil on this. So you want to draw what is this? The square rectangle first. There's going to be some back fist showing, or some back palm showing. This is going to curve around, and the palm, because your fingers are going to be right here, just for a rough sketch. And then your thumb is going to be up here. So the way I did that is, let me see if I have a spare piece of paper here, is for this particular pose, so you guys can see this. This is the arm. So the hand, let's just say you start out with the square. This is going to be the back of the hand. The fingers are going to turn in like this. Like that, because these are your fingers, 4 fingers. This last one is going to be bent in, and then you're going to have your palm. And that's a really bad sketch. The other part of your palm and your thumb. Let's see if I can make that a little better. This is quick. All right, so you have your fingers, that's a given. 1, 2, and they're going to come at an angle. 3, 4. This one is going to be bent into the flatter part of the palm, I guess you can say. You're going to have some of the other meaty part of the palm, And then this knuckle is always going to be higher than the rest, so you want to come down. And then you can bring a little bit of knuckle here, a little bit of knuckle there, and then you have your hand, and then your thumb is just square, little square oval, that piece for you to bend your finger. Yeah, so that's basically it. And I guess if you turn it more sideways, you always want the back of your hand. So your fists are basically squares. And this is your baby finger anyways. This is going to be bent here and bent there. There's that Y again. And then your palm. Your 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down. And a little bit of knuckle coming down. And I did a video on hands, doing hands. So that's there somewhere. Go check that out. So back to our exciting program. Let's try the other one. Okay, so up. Let's try to, I'm eyeballing this. I'm not going to measure it. And there and there. And then your thumb here. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one. Bring that into the wrist. Just because it is definitely lower. Definitely lower. This is going to be the last of the pickiness, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this because I'm going to try to stay away from the 30-minute videos, which is what I seem to be always getting. Two, 3, there's your thumb. And your fingers. Look in the mirror. This could be brought in, but as I said, I'm not going to sweat the small stuff right now because I want this video to be not that long. One more. Something is definitely off. That bottom of the fingers, top of the fingers. Let's just say the one finger, second finger, and I'm measuring each one. I don't know if you can see it or not, but measuring where the fingers go. Thumb is higher. So I think that's going to be it for this drawn part, and then I will ink it and then add some special effects because the guy is powering up. And then you have your ribs, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, which you'll see in the inking process. So because there's so many lines here, we're just going to ink it. I'm not going to try to do it in red. I know this is a little bigger. So yeah, all right. I'm going to speed this up right now, and we're going to ink this. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for this guy. Wow, why can't I say that right now? Powering up. So I could do a lot more to it, but sometimes you just have to know when to stop, because enough is enough, because you can ruin a picture by doing too much. So that's going to be it for this one. And hopefully you got a thing or two out of it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.